Good morning, everybody. Very good morning. I hope there's no app which has been developed by ThoughtWorks which says good morning without talking about it. Very good morning. Yeah, that's better. That's better. I'm still in the technology world, but I still want to use sometimes non-technology methods to wish each other. Thank you very much for being here. 10th year of Retailers Association of India and 10th year of Retecon. Really a proud moment because this was the first flagship event which we started off when we formed Retailers Association. We started off with just 5 founding members and finally went into 50 founding members, and over a period of time we have more than 1,000 members, associate members, and all put together representing probably one of the largest industry of the country today, tomorrow, and for years to come. When it comes to retail and technology, I want to bring a thought onto this forum. When we talk of retail and we talk of RAI and we talk of Retecon, we all talk of modernized retailers, the modern retailers, because these are the retailers who are using modern methods. These are the retailers who are using probably technology and also catering to consumers who are themselves tech savvy and probably are very, very knowledgeable. But when I look at the whole Indian retailing ecosystem, actually I find 3 kinds of retailers, and I would like to draw attention to all the tech CEOs and the organizations who are sitting here. One is the modern retailer that we are talking of. He's modernized, he uses technology, uses professionals, and uses methods to ensure that he delivers services. The second is the traditional retailer. Many of us call them as unorganized, although without the use of technology, many of them are more organized than many of us who use technology, but we still call them traditional retailers. So this is a very large segment of our Indian retail community. Most of them are generally ignored by all of us when it comes to serving them. But there's a third set of retailers whom I refer to as modernizing retailers or getting modernized. This is a very, very large segment who probably require a huge amount of attention. If for a moment we take for discussion to say we have 1 million retailers, about 10 lakhs, most of us are actually chasing the 1% of the retailers, 1,000 of them. And actually, some of these have bought technology which are already becoming dated 20 years back, and sometimes it's very difficult for them to adopt new technology. So there's a struggle. We have ignored the 9 lakh retailers, but there's a huge opportunity in this 100,000 retailers, which is the 10% of this million retailers who are sitting there. These retailers do not attend conferences. These retailers are not in the top 10 or 20 metros. They are sitting in probably non-metros, but serving. And one of the evidence of what they can do and impact is the fact you see the number of people who have come on the marketplaces of the online retailing companies. Large numbers. If they have million market players, these are those smaller retailers who actually used an online platform to use the technology and reach the consumers, and they're doing very well. So my urge to this forum is that can we also start looking at these retailers who are wanting to get modernized. And mind you, these are retailers who have the second generation who are in their 20s and 30s, want to come and run over dads and moms' shops, and therefore modernize. They're educated, many of them fairly qualified. They have the will, they have the way, and they want to have the methods. So to me, this is very, very important. The second part is, for reasons of what's happening in the world, the supply side is getting highly advanced. The demand side is getting highly advanced because of the kind of knowledge and the tools that we have in the hands. So many of the times you find that our consumers are more knowledgeable than our employees. The consumers are aware of a product's quality, price, and many times even schemes before even our employees get to know because they have that knowledge in their hand. On the other hand, the supply side, whether it is the FMCG companies or the manufacturers, are due to regulation and need to govern, pressurized by the sales, by their shareholders, or for good governance, are actually getting modernized so that every part of the governance is taken care of. So imagine a situation, let's talk of the FSSAI rules that have come in. All the FMCG players will have to ensure that they are fully regulated on this subject. The consumers are getting more and more aware about the components, the ingredients of food, and therefore what they expect. But what happens to the poor retailer? If he has to monitor 30, 40, 50 lines in one SKU, to ensure that he has everything in his hand, how will he be able to serve this community? So to me, I think the biggest constant that will happen over the next 10 years is lots of rules and regulations to govern from the government, supply side getting highly modernized, the demand side getting knowledgeable and therefore demanding. The issue will be that the intermediaries will be constrained because many of us are not catering to them, or many of them are not ready to being catered. And this is going to be a huge, huge constraint. And let's not forget that even in food today, only 2% is modern retail on a national basis. The most modernized segment and category of the country, apparel, is still 35%. So on the gradient, you have 1%, 2% food, 35% apparel, and you have 20% or 18% footwear, which means that we are still talking of 65% of retail community not modernized and not having this kind of supply chain efficiencies or use of technology. So I think that is a very, very, very big opportunity. And since Mr. Chandrasekhar is sitting here from NASSCOM, our partner, I would actually urge that both RAI, Retecon, media and NASSCOM should really talk to the government to say, we keep talking of brand fund to promote brands around the world. Why can't we have a technology fund in the country to say every retailer, every mom shop, pop shop retailer, okay, if he uses technology or uses a POS, he will be given first 1 year of sales tax MAF or something like that. Today we are talking of saying, can we get free tax havens for SEZs for large corporates? Why can't we say that if a smaller retailer has a POS, uses technology, for the first 1 year he'll get a concession on tax filing or gets a concession on income tax filing. Just imagine if 500,000 or 1 million retailers are forced or are cajoled or are motivated to use technology on their front end, what will happen to all of us sitting here? Suddenly the doors will open up. So to me, I think this is very, 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 very important for us to encourage this segment of the retail community because the opportunity is very, very large. Coming to the theme of Retecon, instant, disruptive, smarter, I just want to end by sharing a small interaction that I had with a youth group a few months back. Very young group of 18, 21, 22 years. And I had co-presenters who were talking about modern technology. So one co-presenter presented to say that the latest nanotechnology allows building glasses in New York to self-clean themselves. So there is no need for somebody to go up the wall and clean the buildings. So every day it self-cleans itself. The second person talked about the New York Police Department to say how New York Police Department is actually able to do data mining and analytics and insight and reach the crime site 1 minute before the crime is committed. Fantastic. And the third person talked about the driverless car of the Google. And suddenly the youth said, sir, what fun. We can really have fun. Just imagine, okay, now what we do while driving the car, we can do at the back seat without driving the car. I thought that was fantastic. But I said, guys, don't forget that because of the technology and the insights, your parents will know 1 minute before you do it. Thank you very much. Thank you.